Alright guys, let's continue our audiobook series. Let's jump right in it. Legends Turn to Ash. Chapter 12. The True Destroyer. I couldn't believe my ears nor my eyes. Was this girl really the kind and caring Sierra I grew up with? The same Sierra who supported me through all my troubles? The same optimistic Sierra who wouldn't hurt a fly? There beside her stood Beckett with a shy, guilty expression on his face. "You aren't Sierra," I screamed. She would never, never do something like this. I spoke in the hope that my words could somehow become the truth, but I knew that it wasn't the case. "Oh, silly girl. Don't lie to yourself. You know it's me," she shouted back with a smug smile. It was written all over her. By her stance, voice, hair, even a part of her attitude. Everything about her was my best friend, and there was no way I could deny the truth for much longer. The real question was why? Why was she doing this? Has my whole life really been a lie? This isn't real. I must be dreaming or something, right? What is wrong with her? I've known her for 10 years. There's no way that she was just a spy this whole time. How could I not have noticed something like this? Why? Why is this happening? What is up with Beckett, too? I don't know him very well, but he didn't look like he had an ounce of evil in him when we first met. What is he doing here? "Please stop this. It isn't like you, Sarah," I desperately cried out. "Why are you and Beckett doing this?" "Why? What kind of question is that? To annihilate the dragon race, of course. Why else would I do this? Those dragons think they can do whatever they please without consequence, but it's time they learn who the real rulers of this planet are." She shouted in frustration. "What are you talking about? Why do humans have to be the only rulers? We only have one Earth. Why can't we just share it with them? Not only the dragons, but every creature. Why can't we all just live together in peace?" I couldn't help but shake my head in confusion. "Because those monsters are selfish and dangerous, not to mention they feel that we are inferior to them." "But that isn't the whole truth. Sure, Zora and Zephyr are extremely selfish at times and rude, and they tend to have superior attitude tendencies. But that's just because they're dragons, and that's what dragons do. Yeah, they are strong, and sometimes they are so terrifying that I think they want to murder me," I said honestly before being interrupted. "Huh, you admit it. They are practically demons." Sarah pointed at me and laughed. I wasn't finished. "They may be scary and rude, but they also are kind and caring. I can't even count how many times they've saved us and forgiven us for what stupid things we did. And how dare you call them dangerous when you're the one singling them out and torturing them to death? From what I see, you're the dangerous one here," I muttered. "I'm not arguing with you. If you refuse to understand the potential of the destructive creatures, then I'm finished with you. I thought I might be able to make you change sides, but I see that is no longer a possibility. Listen, those dragons that are fighting out there, they're my friends. And guess what? That human fighting out there, even this guy beside me, they're my friends too. I don't care whether they're human or dragon. They are my friends, and I refuse to let you break my bond with them," I yelled at her. "If that's the way you want it, then die." She turned and slowly walked through the doors behind her. "Beckett, kill them, torture them, make them die in the most painful way possible. I'll leave it up to you." Beckett silently nodded and pulled a device from his jacket. I could recognize that device anywhere. It was the same white device with a neon glow that Roland used to control my mind back at the island. He was aiming it at Asher. But I couldn't let that happen. Not to him. If he did something, he would never be able to forgive himself. I could sense the laser of light cover my skin as I shoved him out of the way. I took a deep breath as the negative thoughts poured through my mind. However, this time was different. I felt a little more in control of my thoughts. "No. Go away. I won't let you take over my head again. I don't want to hurt my friends. Never again." My vision flickered for a minute, but then I realized that I could see. I could see, but I couldn't control my body. I knew my body was moving, but I couldn't do anything to stop it. I couldn't even speak. All I knew that I was walking toward Asher, backing him against the wall. It was then, at that moment, the darkness that had been stalking me took hold of me again. To the right of us, Beckett stood creepily, smiling with a small pistol in his hand. Kill him. I knew my body was moving forward as I reached my hands toward his throat, tightly gripping it. I couldn't get the look of his face out of my head. His breaths were quick and short, and his eyes were spread open in terror. Stop, Hans. I command you to stop. Please stop. If this keeps up, I'm really going to kill him. He looks so scared. Asher, it's not me. Set me on fire or something. Just stop me. Just stop me, Asher. I don't want to hurt you. I could feel tears falling down my cheeks onto his face, but I still couldn't control my body. It was almost like he could read my thoughts because he smiled. Asher put on his big grin like always. He knew I couldn't control it. He understood he was quite possibly going to die. Yet he smiled. It was a smile that attempted to say, "It's okay." A smile that made my heart ache. My head raced from worry as I watched him fall into unconsciousness. Asher, no, you're not allowed to die, you idiot. Stop. Convinced that Asher was going to die soon, Beckett pointed the pistol at both of us and took a shot with his eyes closed, as if this was a game. I couldn't really feel the pain, but a shiver raced up and down my spine, and my leg throbbed. You're going to pay for this. Stop this stupid mind control or body control crap this instant. I hope you're ready for a world of pain you're about to be in. Anger boiled in and out of my body as I managed to yell and pull my hands off Asher. I didn't even bother to look down at my leg. My anger numbed the pain. Beckett backed up, startled, and shot at me, clumsily once more, missing his target. This time, it was my turn to snap. I screamed as I hardened my fists with a coat of ice and punched Beckett into the side. With my non-injured leg, I roundhouse kicked him in the head and shoved him to the ground, quickly knocking him unconscious. Asher, I yelled, running over to him, checking his pulse. I fell over in relief to find that he was still alive. My relaxation was short-lived as a jolt of pain shot through my blood-gushing leg. I could barely breathe through the pain as I grabbed it and rolled onto the floor in agony. I held my screams, but tears formed in my eyes as I bit my lip. I ripped my jacket off and quickly tied it around my leg to stop the blood flow. I had no choice but to sit on the floor for a minute and take a deep breath. The fire had torched the room around me, and small pieces of ceiling crashed to the ground. I have to get him out of here. I can't stand and this place is falling to the ground. All of our fighting must have done a number on the place. I wonder how the others are doing. I hope they're okay. I just need to rest for a minute. I think I can make a break for it. Maybe I should put up an ice shield barrier. We'll be safe at least for a little bit. Slowly I tightened my finger muscles, and in a pulling motion toward the ground, I created a pile of ice that soon rose into a dome-like shape above us, leaving us a door-like opening. Pebbles of concrete tapped onto the barrier above us. I glanced down at Asher with his broken glasses and frowned. I'm so sorry. The guilt that I felt caused me more pain than the wound in my leg. I may not have been able to prevent all destruction, but at least I was able to save Asher. I don't understand why Sierra and Beckett are so set on murdering the dragons. Beckett kind of seems like a puppet. He hasn't said a word since we met him. Well, besides the command he gave for me to kill Asher. Even behind his evil exterior, I could still see those sad eyes. What's going on? Is Sierra really the one behind this? Why can't she just understand? Dragons and humans must live in harmony. We may not be at the point where the whole world can find out about them, but we definitely should be able to live together without conflict. They have been doing so for so many centuries, and it wasn't until recently that this mess started up. Why exactly is the Earth dying? And the legend, what's up with that? I mean, the descriptions were accurate, but I still don't understand how we are the ones who are going to destroy the planet. Little by little, I feel like this is adding up, but I need more information. This just isn't enough. What's that? I glanced into the hall through the broken section of the wall. I could hear a voice mumbling to himself and talons colliding with shards of broken glass and concrete. I felt weak, almost too weak to speak, but I managed to yell, "Hey, in here!" He was still far away, but I knew that I was looking at the unmistakable flames of Zephyr. As he drew nearer, I noticed several new scrapes and bruises on his scales. If he was here, then where was Alzora? Was she all right? Quickly, he entered the room and blinked at Asher and I. "Am I correct to assume that our mission is complete here?" "Yes. Asher did a great job of destroying the files. Zephyr, can you do me a favor?" I asked. "Wonderful. A favor?" He raised his eyes and leaned closer to me. "Take Asher out of here. The building is collapsing and he still hasn't woken up yet." "I was planning on it, but what about you?" "Just take him and hurry. I have something I still need to take care of first." I glanced at Beckett and back at Zephyr. Zephyr seemed exhausted. He didn't have the energy to act like his smug, superior self. He managed to nod and gently pick up Asher and set him on his scaly back. "I suggest you move quickly as well. This building was not meant to sustain this much pressure and damage." "Wait," I said as he turned to leave. "Is Alzora okay?" He hesitated and then turned toward me. "Unfortunately, I do not know. We split up mid-battle, taking half of the enemies with us." That had me worried, but I knew there was no possible way Alzora would lose. I wasn't entirely sure why I stayed behind, because I really didn't have anything specific to do. Maybe part of me just wanted to save Beckett. "Okay, you jerk. Let's get out of here. You're lucky that bullet mostly grazed my leg," I said to his unconscious body. He was tall, but he wasn't that heavy, making it easier on me. The pain in my right leg had decreased quite a bit, and I managed to stand up with my one good leg, picking up Beckett in the process. I slung his arm around my back and neck. The room smelled like burnt paper, and heat continued to radiate from the ground. I managed to stand on my feet, but it was difficult to walk forward. I limped with each step, but I couldn't afford to give up this early. I dragged both our injured bodies to the edge of the hallway and rested on the wall for a moment. Behind me, the roof of the room collapsed, crushing my ice stone barrier into tiny shards. "Oh man, that was close," I said aloud. Zephyr was right. This building really isn't going to last much longer. I just need to get out of here. If I make it outside, I can see if all the earthquakes and phenomena have stopped yet. After all, if this building goes down, I'm sure whatever weapon they're hiding will be destroyed as well. Then again, Sarah is still around here somewhere, unless she already escaped. I hope that she isn't carrying the weapon with her, because that would make things a lot worse. "Okay, calm down," whispered. "Just focus on getting out of here alive right now." At this point, there was barely any lighting, and the lights that were on were dangling from the ceiling about to snap. I tried to hurry down the hall, but because I was carrying the weight of both Beckett and myself on an injured leg, I wasn't making much progress. My leg felt like it was going to give out soon, but I had to hang in there for a little while longer. My whole body ached and my toes to my shoulders, and even my head pounded. Debris covered the aisle, making it difficult to move forward. "I can't believe you shot me. Like, you shot at me with a real gun. Who does that? You people are so messed up." The ground began to shake once more below me, but this time it made the whole building rumble. I fell to the ground, failing to keep my balance. This isn't good. That weapon must not be destroyed yet. Crap, I can't stand back up. The ground is shaking way too much. What do I do? If I stay here, I'm bound to get squashed by the ceiling, but I can't get up. Actually, it's okay. If Alzora and the others are okay, then I'm fine with this fate. They don't need me. I'll just drag them down. As long as they are safe, it's okay. I rolled onto my back and stared at the crackling ceiling above me. It's not that I'm giving up. I just can't move, that's all. I'm sorry, Beckett. I really wanted to save you and see this through to the end. You know, the funny thing is I really don't want to give up here. And I really don't feel like dying. I mean, seriously, I'm even talking to you and you're unconscious. I really must be going crazy. Told you. There it was, the voice I adored, the voice of a friend, the voice of loyalty, the voice of Alzora. She replied in such a calm way, her relief could have been unrecognizable to anyone else. I turned my head to the side to see Elzora with her head bent down staring at me. Elzora, you're okay. I'm so glad. Oh, be quiet already. Let's get out of this heap of rubble. Did you happen to see that flame head pass by here? Quickly, yet carefully, she wrapped her tail around me and set me on her back. She put Beckett on her back with less delicacy. I didn't even hear you coming. Yeah, Zephyr took Asher a little while ago, so they should be out of here by now, I said, exhausted, messing with her ears. Good. That means we're the last to escape. I saw Oogie and Jacer off a while ago, so let's hurry up and catch them. As she rose, the ground continued to rumble below us, and the pieces of the ceiling fell both in front and behind us. I couldn't control the amount of pain my body was in, but I knew that I would be safe as long as we could make it out of here. As Elzora raced through the halls, I could feel the dirt-like powder tap my head, keeping me from dozing off. It didn't help that the powder substance made me want to sneeze. It was hard to believe that this building was the same one we originally came into seemingly so long ago. When we first arrived, everything was clean, orderly, and bright from the lighting, but now everything was a mess. Most of the rooms we passed were pitch black, and the halls were dimly lit, making it difficult to see where we were going. Patches of the ceiling were on the floor, and occasionally we would come across a hole in the roof showing the stormy sky above. Unfortunately, the holes were too small for either of us to crawl through. Elzora didn't bother to look back, but I knew she was directing her question toward me. What happened here? I noticed your leg is bleeding, too. What's up with that? I didn't want to answer her question. How was I supposed to tell her that we were saving the man who tried to kill me? The same man who almost forced me to strangle Asher. She didn't even know that Beckett has been a spy this whole time. What was I supposed to say? Then it hit me. I knew exactly what to say. Honestly, I don't know what happened. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure what's going on here. My childhood friend, Sarah, claims to be the boss of the operation, and for some reason she is dead set on killing me, no pun intended. Beckett, Sarah says he's a spy, but I refuse to believe that. Maybe it's all an act. Please don't be mad at me, Elzora. He may have been the one to shoot me, but don't hurt him. I think we're not getting the whole story. I could have sworn that she was going to stop in her tracks right there, but instead she continued to run. I knew but by her shift in breathing that she was infuriated. I see, so she is the true culprit. Why in the world are you saving Beckett? He's a traitor. We should leave him right here. Let him die along with this place. That is an odd wound. What did he shoot you with? You're not listening to me. It doesn't matter what he shot me with. It just grazed me, that's all. It was just a small pistol. I'll be fine. I told you, we don't have the whole picture anyway. I don't know why, but I don't think it's his fault, I said, grasping her horns. You really are such a moronic, insane girl. How could you let yourself get injured in battle, let alone believe the enemy didn't do it intentionally? I glanced down at her roughed-up scales and snickered. What are you talking about? You got hurt too, you know. But I really don't think he meant to do it. Whatever. Okay, Miss Smarty Pants. How do you figure he's so innocent? I haven't got that far yet, I admitted as I scratched my head. I saw that response coming. I can't believe you. Why do you always leave it until last minute to figure things out? We don't even know how we are going to stop this disaster yet. Oh, I almost forgot. When Asher was hacking the system, I guess he found a secret file containing information about some deadly weapon that may be causing the phenomena. Well, it looks like you two accomplished something, at least. So, where is this so-called weapon? Elzora asked as she dodged a falling piece of ceiling. That's the problem. I think Sierra took it with her when she escaped. I take it back. You two are idiots. Hey, it's not our fault we actually never saw the weapon. As I said, Asher just read some stuff about it. I wish we knew more, but that's all we got. Still doesn't seem like a believable excuse. It was like she was just trying to make me mad at this point. What do you want me to say? Hey, Elzora, we found some magical destruction weapon and disintegrated it. Sorry, I'm not that perfect. I should have expected that. You are human, after all. Then again, not even dragons are perfect beings. After all, we aren't God. I guess we can agree on that. Hey, is that the exit? I pointed excitedly toward the glowing door. Azora quickly increased her speed and took a ginormous leap through the door, avoiding the dangerous sections of the triangular archway, attempting to collapse on us. I wasn't sure how, but the surroundings looked worse than they did when we had first arrived. Thunder crackled through the skies, and lightning struck the nearest trees in rampage. I realized that the reason it was so dark outside wasn't just because of the clouds. Lava was leaking from the volcano, and smoke rose to the sky, covering the dark clouds. Oogie and Jacer were the first to notice us, so we ran over to them to recuperate. They looked a little banged up, but nothing too serious. As expected, Oogie had returned to his usual nervous, worried, paranoid self, which was a relief to me. To the left of us, Zephyr and Asher flew downward to our little group. I was happy to see that Asher was awake and optimistic like always. He smiled and waved at us. When they landed, they hopped off and walked over to me. I wasn't sure what he was going to say, but I was ready to apologize. Dude, I had this really weird dream. You were like trying to strangle me, but you were crying as you did it, so I'm glad you're okay, because it kind of worried me, he said with a huge grin on his face. His neck was still a little red and swollen, but I decided to play dumb for his sake. It was better for everyone if he just believed it was a dream. Yeah, that does sound really weird. You guys should have seen us. We were totally awesome. Once the chicken and I figured out how to combine our electricity, we fried that hag, Jacer interrupted. Oogie attempted to shush him, but failed. Jacer, no need to go that far. Zephyr glanced up toward the hostile sky and mumbled to himself. It seems like every one of us, both human and dragon, has had a rough time on this mission. Surprisingly, we all made it out alive. We must not be destined for death yet. Maybe that's because we're destined to cause death. At least no one has noticed my leg yet. I really don't want them to make a big deal. The less they know, the better. But I should probably explain the whole Beckett and Sierra scenario. That's exactly what I did, and for the most part, all but Asher reacted in the same way that Azora did. I managed to calm them down in the same way I did with Azora, but we did end up on agreeing to lay Beckett down on the soil behind us while we came up with a plan. Before we could do anything, the ground began to violently shake once more, knocking all of us to the ground. Carefully balancing on the rolling earth, we mounted the dragons and rose into the smoke-filled sky to get a better look at the situation. What we found astonished us. Below, a dragon's paw burst through the soil. Next came his head, and the other paw. His scales were the color of ash, and it looked as if darkness itself was beneath each individual scale. His roar bellowed through the sky, almost blowing us away. The most terrifying thing about this dragon was that his paw alone was the size of Azora's body. There he lay, his body halfway emerged, staring at me with his greedy gold eyes that seemed to thirst for destruction. Alright guys, that's it for this chapter of Legends Turn to Ash, and I hope you will join us next time. See you then. Bye!